will be able to watch every square inch of the earth at 24 hours a day. So, the capacity of people to escape that kind of surveillance and to live, free lives is going to be the power. Is what we're creating is this kind of turnkey totalitarianism. We're the next totalitarian regime that steps up and really wants to clamp things down. They're going to have all of these mechanisms in place like no regime has had in human history.
And it's been pretty amazing. So factories are booming. And when they actually open, right now they're booming in terms of construction. This is something given to me by Mark Zuckerberg. And you'll see this is AI now. These are, I never understood. I said, well, because I built shopping centers, and for $50 million, you can build a very nice shopping center. So I never understood when they said $50 billion for a plant. I said, what the hell kind of a plant is that? But when you look at this, you understand why it's $50 billion. So this is one he's building in Louisiana. That's Meta, Facebook, as people understand it to be. But look at that. That's the size of Manhattan. So that's superimposed over the island of Manhattan. It takes up a big part of Manhattan. I think they say 81% of Manhattan. So these are big things, and they're going up. A lot of them are going up now. I don't know that big, actually.
You build military AI, military drone, autonomous drone technology to export to war zones all over the world. You build domestic surveillance technology to surveil our friends and neighbors. And then your other pet passion is the Antichrist. It's odd. Wouldn't you include tennis? Wouldn't you go, and I'm big into tennis? Something else. It's odd, and I like ice fishing. I build autonomous drone technology. I build domestic surveillance technology.
And I love lake trout.
And I love lake trout, and I love big mouth bass fishing. Yeah. But instead, he goes, and I've also developed quite a keen interest in Satan.
Laugh. You have to laugh. Welcome to Truth with JJ Carrell. I got a special shirt from a friend of mine. I'm going to stand up a little bit. See if you can see it. Can you see it? I am Charlie. That's a pretty dang good shirt. It's black, which I'm totally stoked about because I just wear black. Thins me out. Where I would just make a plug for my friend, Julio. Julio has a great podcast called X-Ray Podcast. And you can go to xraypodcast.com. Just the letter X, RAY podcast.com. And he has all of these shirts, different colors, etc. Support my guy, man. Julio's incredible. Great shirt. Thank you, Julio. I am Charlie Kirk today and forever. There are things that, like any man, I don't like everything about anybody. But Charlie Kirk has or had some incredible views, things that I respect and trust. And I love his faith, or love his faith when he was on this earth. Now he's in heaven. I know that for a fact because God rewarded him for bringing people to him. I showed you AI, and I just have one question. Well, I have a lot of questions to ask you or things to say, but I want to ask you one very, very important question. Larry Ellison, Peter Thiel, Atman, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg. You want that group of men running your life? You want that group of men to have absolute control over your life? Would you want any of those men to have any aspect to your life? Most of those men are squashing your free speech. Bill Gates is putting poison in your body. Bill Gates is a depopulation freak that believes we have too many humans, and he's a vaccine expert. Do you ever stop and just add 1 and 1 and go, oh, dear Lord, it's 2? The guy that wants to kill off the population is demanding we all take vaccines. Well, you don't have to get a shot. As he said, we're going to put a little patch on you. It's all going to be okay. We're working with the Indians because they have so many disposable people. We can kill a lot of those Indians. no problem. The man that rolled out all the vaccines has been doing war planning on pandemic, wiping out civilizations, is now, and he is a guy that creates software for computers. Now he is the vaccine expert. Is he a scientist? Did I miss something? Did he go to MIT, Yale, Harvard Med School, UC Berkeley, UC San Diego? Did he go to any of these schools to become a doctor? Did he do his residency somewhere? Did I just miss it? Is he been wearing those lab coats and doing experiments, scientific studies for decades that I just missed? Larry Ellison, I want that guy. What's on his arms? What are all those markings on his arms? I want to ask that question. Zuckerberg wants to build buildings the size of Manhattan. So he has AI. Zuckerberg. The guy's name is Zuckerberg. He looks like a freaking alien. Can we just all say the truth? He looks like a reptile alien. This is the same guy that has censored all of us on Facebook, censored the president of the United States, Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has his best friend. Oh, look at my friend Mark Zuckerberg. You know what? I have a lot of questions about Trump. I'm going to be straight up and honest, and I always am with you guys. There are times where I have no idea what he's doing. None. I don't want to hear about 5-dimensional chess and all that other BS. I am so disgusted with hearing that Trump's playing 5D chess and, he's 12 moves ahead of everybody. No, he's not. No, he's not. Are you that stupid? Do you know when you start to plan things out into the future? Just one step out. The probability of that happening is not good because there's so many intangibles you have no control, zero control over. Now, think if I said to you, hey, I have this plan. It's 12 steps, but we're going to get to the end. And I say, okay, was everybody working? No one's working with me. I'm just going to move these pieces and everything's going to work out. And I would say, we have your money invested in this. I would say, I'd like to have my money back right now, please. But we're not talking about money. We're talking about my life. We're talking about our civilization, our nation. I don't. Donald Trump's 12 steps ahead. Don't believe it. I don't believe anybody's 12 steps ahead. I don't believe anybody 3 steps ahead, to be quite honest with you. I just don't. My favorite country song, not song, but one of the lyrics, and I don't know the song or who sang it, so I please apologize in advance. If you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. He could add on to that. If you want to hear the whole world laugh, tell me again how Donald Trump is 12 steps ahead. Tell me somebody that's 12, 15, 20, 3 steps ahead of us, and I'm going to laugh you right in your face. So I question a lot. President Trump, that man, Zuckerberg, censored you. He blocked you. And now he's supposed to be an ally? You give him a seat at your table? You give the seat at your table next to your beautiful wife of Bill Gates, that scumbag, that pedophile that was in Epstein's island over and over and over again, so much so that his wife divorced him? And you're going to sit him next to your wife, and your wife is one of the advocates for stopping child sex trafficking? It makes no sense to me. I don't want to hear one more time someone tell me, well, JG, he's keeping his enemies close. He's going to get them all at once. He's going to have them all around him. Oh, God. Sometimes people just make me want to pull my hair out. I swear to you. So when you bring people around and they're your company, it says a lot about you. We've all grown up hearing that. And it's true. The people that you have around you have an impact on how people view you, and they'll have impact on the way your life turns out. Just had this discussion with my son, actually 2 nights ago. Has 2 friends that are starting to act up, and I told him, those 2 guys, you're going to have to cut them out of your life pretty quick, son. and it hurt him. And I said, look what they're doing. Do you think this is going to stop? Or do you think it's going to accelerate? This is going to accelerate, Dad. And he goes, but Dad, I'm not there when they do it. But you're there after, right? Yes, sir. So when the police come and you're with them, do you think that they're just going to let you walk away? Or are you going to sit on that curb with them with handcuffs, bracelets on? Yeah, Dad. So my same question to Donald Trump is, I'm looking at guys that are vile human beings, and you have given them place of prominence at your dinner table, while people that fought for you, fought day and night for you, got slandered, censored, demonetized. Where's our seat at your table, sir? At the very least, Mr. President, you should exclude those people from positions of power and authority at your dinner table. And to believe that those cretins that I showed you are going to have power, immense power over you, me, and our nation is unbelievable. How have we gotten to this point that these freaks are now in charge, or going to be in charge of our lives? And don't think that this has not already happened. Don't think that we can block it. Like, okay, thank goodness we're in the genesis of this. We're going to get in front of, no. It's already been rolled out. You don't know it. I don't know it. We can see it all around us. We know it's happening. We are in basically a cashless society right now. We have closed circuit monitor TVs across our major cities, on our stoplights, on our ringtone. We're surveilled already. It's checkmate. These are the men that you want to rule your life. This is unbelievable. I want you to be prepared for the coming disaster. Are you going to be prepared enough? I don't know. But when that day comes and that bell rings, I and me and my family are going to be as prepared as we possibly can. Spiritually, physically, mentally. And one way we're going to have those tools that are going to allow us to be prepared. And that is why I partner with sat123.com. You don't have to like or prepare the way I do, thinking of darker times. That's just the way I'm built. That's just the way my experience has played out in my life. And that is the conclusions that I have come to. You don't have to come to the same conclusions I do, but you have to at least acknowledge that there is evil in the world, there is chaos in the world, and we are not living in normal times. Can we agree to that? I think that's a fair conclusion that we can all agree to. If you have that conclusion and we share that, then you must get prepared. Sat phone, ballistic backpack, generator, Starlink. And where do you get that? Do you want to go and buy at the box stores? Go ahead. Pay extra money and give to all of those savages that we just talked about that want to take your money, give it to Black Lives Matter, Democrat Party, Planned Parenthood, blah, 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 blah. Or you can go to a company that is based in America, by Americans, for Americans. That's sat123.com/JJ. Or call the number on the screen. sat123.com/JJ. Again, I wonder how many of those 2,000 to 3,000 students at the college in Utah after the shooting of Charlie Kirk, if I set up a stand and said, I'm selling ballistic backpacks, how many would I sell and how fast would I sell out? Then it's too late. It's too late. You need to be prepared because we live in uncertain times. sat123.com/JJ. It's Thursday. Last Thursday, Kim Yater was not here, and I need some hope, a lot of hope. Hope was sucked out of our world last week. And there's not a lot of hope right now. I'll be honest with you. We are in absolute chaos. Kim Yater, welcome back to the show. What an amazing 2 weeks has happened since we've talked.
Unbelievable what's happened in the past 2 weeks. JJ, it is awesome to be here. And I'll tell you what, your show represents me to the power of hope in the midst of the storm. So I'm really beside myself. And I think the last time we spoke on your show, I was verklempt, that famous word. I was verklempt because there was so much coming at us all at once. And I am reminded that we are in the midst of fifth generation warfare. If you listen closely to General Flynn, if you listen closely to Boone Cutler, if you've ever read the books 5G Warfare by General Flynn and Boone Cutler, you're going to see that these are the tactics. You see, 2016, that getting ready for that, it was already present in that whole election cycle. Now it is 5G warfare on steroids. We don't know what's coming at us from what direction, who's sending it, who did it, is it true? There's psyop everywhere. And I'll tell you what, Satan is the father of confusion. Satan's goal is to divide and sow discord and division. A house that is united, a house that is not united will not stand. So is our house united? Are we united? Well, we're certainly not united as Republicans. We know the Democrats are a little bit more united than we are, but it's even the leftists, because who is the puppeteer? Who's the one that's controlling things? We know that this psyop goes way beyond, and it's not just one, it is many. I had a meeting this week. Well, I'll just tell you, the weekend was meeting after meeting. We're getting ready for the Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown on November 8th, in person in San Marcos, California, with all the conservative gubernatorial candidates. So we've had strategy meetings behind the scenes. If we're going to take back California, take our California back, then we've got to get a plan of action. We got to unite, and we need to know who our enemy is and how to take down the enemy. And I'm going to tell you what, one of the meetings I had was sobering. And this is someone that works at a very high level. And we all have some of those people in our pathway, JJ. I know you do. And he looked straight at me. And I mean, he is in the midst of it, you guys, fighting for this country. And he said, Kim, the current administration is done. And I was like, what do you mean? What, how can you say that? We're not done. We're just getting started. He's like, no. He says, the handlers are handling. They are hamstrung on every side. And I remember that word hamstrung. I remember that feeling of being squeezed in the middle of an interview with Tom Holman and Derek Maltz. And I remember these guys, Tom, I could just feel it for Tom. Like, I can't do my job. I can't use the gift I've been given. My country is being taken from me. It's being stolen. And I can't do anything about it. This is the point that the current administration is in. Now, they are working, I believe they are working what they can work, but until they come out and release everything, tell the truth to the public, and not baby us, not manipulate us to get us out of this cognitive dissonance, but we need to hear the truth, because let me tell you what, if you think you're loving us by coddling us, you are not loving us, because love is truth, and the truth will set us free. So JJ, we need truth. That's the love we need right now.
And we're not getting the truth, Kim. We're okay. Let's take one, and this is bigger than Epstein. I use Epstein because this really is kind of the crossroads. This is where I can say, okay, look at Epstein, look at what they're doing. This is the prime example of how they lie to us. If they're lying to us about something that is so grotesque, so in our face, what else are they lying to us about? What have they not even told us? So I'm going to play a couple videos for you. I want you to see where Kash Patel yesterday tells Senator Kennedy that Epstein wasn't trafficking children.
Mm.
Epstein didn't traffic children. Go ahead and play this. I think it's number 6.
Who,
Thomas.
if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one
For the information that we have
in the files.
in the case file.
Okay.
Kim. All right. Before I even go even that, I want to play Massey, Thomas Massey, who's excoriated by everybody. And he has some issues that he has to answer for. Number one, sir, why are you now pushing for Epstein's files to be released? And you did nothing under Joe Biden. In fact, you helped close everything down. So, but Massey asked some great questions, and I want your response after, and I want to add something to it, and then we'll have a discussion. Go ahead and play this, Thomas, number 7.
You replied, according to the transcript, there is no credible information that he trafficked them to anyone else. According to victims who cooperated with the FBI in that investigation, these documents in FBI possession, your possession, detail at least 20 men, including Mr. Jess Staley, CEO of Barclays Bank, who Jeffrey Epstein trafficked victims to. That list also includes at least 19 other individuals, one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, one royal prince, one high-profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, at least 6 billionaires, including a billionaire from Canada.
Before I get your reaction, I want to layer this with, there's no one being trafficked. There's nothing to see. This is all a hoax, as Donald Trump said, in whatever fashion, however you want to split hairs. And yet the House barely passes the resolution to release all the Epstein. And while Charlie Kirk was being embalmed, the Senate comes out, as Republican ran, and denies the release of the Epstein files and evidence. Well, if you can't have it all the ways, Kim, you have, if it's either nothing and show us, or you're hiding and lying. What is your thoughts on it?
Liar, liar, pants on fire. You know, it's funny. Neuro-linguistic programming, words have power. Neuro-linguistic programming can be used for good. I'm a master practitioner. I've done tons of breakthrough with clients, and it's been freedom for them. But I take an oath to utilize that for good. You see, on the other side, it's being used as wickedness. It is part of this 5th generation warfare. Semantics, the words they use. When you look up with the words, what do we consider trafficking? How are we juxtapositioning Epstein, what he did, how he did it? It's the way they have information, of course, that we do not have. And the information that they have, they're able to put it into their category so that the words that they choose fall in line with whatever they're saying, okay? So all I can tell you is this: we know that this happened. You and I have both interviewed Epstein victims. We know it's true. We know people who are dead. I don't know why Kash Patel, I don't know how Kash Patel can sit there. But I'm telling you what, sit there and tell us non-truths, or to tell us what they want us to hear, because there's clearly, they're protecting things right now. So I just don't know how he can do this. This is, I mean, I am just hoping that Kash is on the good side and things are going to unfold, but it's not looking like that right now.
People always say, well, this is the 5D, right? Like we're playing chess and we're so far ahead. That's such BS. There's no way that even if Kash Patel or Donald Trump or Peter Thiel or any of these guys had the desire to be ahead of people, it's impossible. There's too many intangibles. There's too many balls in the air. So one or two or all of them are going to fall. Yeah. Kash Patel, you're absolutely right, is splitting hairs. When you listen to what he says, I have no evidence that proves that he did anything. I physically don't have it. But Massey asked some great questions. Have you spoken to all those people? No, I haven't. Well, what about all these people that said they were trafficked to those people? Oh, you haven't interviewed them. What in God's name's going on, Kim? What is going on in America?
Handlers. Everybody is given everything's compartmentalized. They're in their box and they are protected, but they're not protected to keep them safe. They're protected from us getting the real information. That's why Cash can look at you in the eyes and say what he's saying, right? Because he doesn't have that information. And I think in another video, he's like, go get the information, Cash Patel. You are FBI. That's your responsibility, right? But I'm telling you, these guys are all hamstrung right now. And I think when we're looking at the when we're looking at the 5D chess game, I think what's happening is the plan isn't going according to the way that they had planned it to be. So they're running on empty. They're desperate right now and they don't know what to do. And when you're in that position, we all know raising kids, one lie leads to another lie, then to another lie, then to another lie. And it gets so big that how do you deal with it? You nip it in the bud. You expose the lie. The truth will set you free. You go, you know what? Here's the lie. Here's the lie. Here's the lie. And that will give us the freedom, every single one of us. So I'll tell you what we're seeing on that large scale, we need to now take it inwardly and go, what am I doing in my own personal life? How am I choosing to live? Am I so engaged in everything going on that I'm not caring for the people around me? Like you said in the beginning of this, you said, before I hopped on, you were telling people the importance of taking care of their well-being, mind, body, and soul. This is what we can control. So if we are allowing ourselves to be sucked into all this information 24/7, we are absolutely ensnared in the psychological warfare. We've got to remember there are moments of opportunity and opportunity passes. And I'll tell you what, we have a moment in time right now to make the most of every opportunity, the Bible says, because the days are evil. How's your family? How's your relationship with God? Are you taking care of your well-being? How are your neighbors? Are you communicating? Are you rallying the troops around you? Are you loving up and speaking the truth? You don't need to go cray-cray. You don't need to go red pill people. You need to love them up. Ask them the questions. The heart is deep waters. A wise man draws out the heart. This is our opportunity. What we just experienced with Charlie Kirk is our opportunity. People are longing for truth. They are hungry. They are so hungry. They are hurting. We get to be love. And remember, love without truth is not love. We're truthful in a loving way.
I had the same conversation with my wife last night. I looked at her and we had the news on and I just said, we're at our dinner table and I said, what we need to focus on is me, you, and our son. That's it. We're going to focus on our family. We're going to fight, but we need to at least acknowledge to each other that the world is so evil and the world is so chaotic. There is nothing short of God coming going to change anything.
Amen.
And let me tell you, so you mentioned Charlie Kirk, and obviously he's the overarching story day in and day out. I played on the Vault where we have a subscription base. And today I lay down a recording about what do you believe about Charlie Kirk's shooting. And what I do believe is I trust no one. No one. You have Candace Owens coming out and throwing bombs and asking just simple questions, and she's excoriated for asking questions. Whenever anybody tells you, shut up, everything's fine, you're crazy, and you're like, I just asked a question. No, you're crazy, shut up. Once you hear that, know immediately you're correct, and they're wrong. Immediately. And that's what people are doing. Candace Owens knows nothing about anything, and And then you're saying, well, this guy shot somebody, Charlie Kirk, and disassembled his rifle and then jumped off. Wait a minute, it takes over a sniper over a minute to disassemble
100%.
his rifle. So nothing, Kim, nothing adds up. Like nothing.
This is why.
Nothing
this
adds
is
up.
why, JJ, absolutely 100%. This is Charlie Kirk's assassination aftermath, the 5G manifestation. It looks like this. The disinformation floods social media with deep fake, scripted text, leaked messages. Extremists claim credit via encrypted apps, while mainstream outlets retract smears. So what this does is it heightens partisan divides. Vigilante action rise. So we're seeing all these vigilante groups rise. There's expulsions, graffiti, vandalism. 67% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck amid economic panic, amplifying vulnerability to psyops. The reality of this is we're breaking down society. This is how you get people into a one world government, a one world religion, a one world money system. And by golly, by the time this war is done, people are left depleted. Give me the mark. If I can have something that's going to help me feel better, give it to me. I don't want to deal with this pain. Give it to me. They're setting them up. So we need to remember the war we're in, and we need to remember who the victor is and who we are, because if we lose who we are, that's the goal, for our identity to be stolen. We need to remember that we are children of the King of Kings. When we step into that authority, Jesus said, you're going to do even greater things than me. We need to remember who we are and remind one another that you are chosen. We are chosen for this time.
Well, if we're chosen for this time, then we need some fighters, because when I look at, we talk about 5 chess and I don't believe in that. What I do believe, though, is you can sit and look at a scenario, a situation, and say, okay, if this continues and we keep going down this path, these are the outcomes. We'll have 1 or 2, maybe 3 chances to get off of this road to nowhere. And if we don't take it, what is the outcome? So I'm looking at a runaway train going down an interstate, just flying down. We've passed all the off-ramps. So we're heading straight for a brick wall. There's no good outcome here, Kim. Nothing is changing. Our speed is accelerating. The off-ramps are being closed, and we're going straight down to hell. And there is no other outcome. If I tabletop this, there is no other outcome 6 months, a year, 5 years from now, except violence and pain and suffering. There is no escape from this unless we get off the off-ramp. But if we get off the off-ramp right now, we're going so fast, we're not going to be able to stop. There's going to be immense pain and suffering. To your point of, just tell us the effing truth. Stop playing this game. Tell us, hey, you know what? AIPAC is running our government. Hey, you know what? This was not the shooter of Charlie Kirk. Oh, Epstein. These are all the politicians that were raping young children. Sorry, here it all is. Now you, the American people, we're going to go through the constitutional process, but tell us what you want. You want them all killed? What do you want? There is a time that is coming that people think they know the level of violence. They have no idea. There's nothing that you should not question in history. You should question World War II. You should question all the propaganda used to get us into the war and all the propaganda because who creates and owns history? The victors. The victors get to tell you what happened because the defeated are dead or they're just struggling to find some bread to eat. Right. I don't believe anything, Kim. I believe this is not even the age of awakening. I believe this is an age that needs absolute wisdom and discernment, because when you look at things, I don't have all the answers. I don't have nearly any of the answers. The one thing that I do know, and it plays in my mind every time I watch a video, every time I talk to someone, is do not believe anything, because everything that is being told to you is a form of a lie. That's a horrible way to live, but I don't believe there's any way that anyone should live right now except that. Do you disagree with me on that?
Okay, here's what I believe, JJ. First of all, well said, well said. The only way off this ramp, the only way that we don't go into intense pain and collision individually, okay, which will impact us collectively, is that we go to the source of wisdom and discernment. We go to the source of truth, because when we go to the source of truth, that impact will not be so devastating for us individually, because we know where our hope is. And our hope is not here. Now, our goal, God says, bring his kingdom on this earth as it is in heaven, but we get to be, that kingdom is within us. His spirit lives within us. If we receive that spirit and that wisdom and discernment, that is what's going to help us to know what actions to take in the midst of the storm. If not, we will remain in fight, flight, and freeze, and we will just be a victim instead of a victor. And we are called to be victors in Christ.
We are heading to disaster, and we are in a surveilled state. We are in this perpetual cycle of going to stores, going to cell phone stores, provider service industries, to people that despise us. And we keep funding their evil, because things without money die. The NGOs are disgustingly corrupt. If you choke them out monetarily, they will die literally overnight on the vine. Our government refuses to stop payments to NGOs. One way that you and I have partnered in the way we can choke off the big box stores is to give our money, buy things and products that we need from a company that aligns with our values. Take 60 seconds, if you will, just to tell our audience, and we have over 1,000 people have already joined, which is exciting, is patriotsmade.com. Just give us a 60-second reason why we should not give to all of the big box stores, the Amazons, et cetera, when they take our profits and put it to use to hurt us.
That's right. Yeah, we have the opportunity to impact the beast. We have the opportunity to impact the pockets of BlackRock and Vanguard. We get to say, no, you're not going to poison us anymore. No, we're not going to buy your illusion of choice. We're going to take our power back by tapping into a manufacturer that is USA company that makes products here that are better, safer, and less expensive, rather than my money and your money going to feed the beast, feeding the Amazons, the Jeff Bezos, the Wally family. We get to actually feed a farmer, a rancher, a ministry, a patriot. You get to keep shows alive like JJ Show, my show, so that the truth is being brought to you, and you get to take care of your well-being, your mind, your body, and soul, having the tools in place that are made right here with the best of science and nature. I made the switch 20 years ago. Best choice, best decision I ever made. I don't believe that JG and I would be able to perform at the level we perform at, and all of the now thousands of people that we've been able to help, without the tools that we have. Go tap in. Go to patriotsmade.com/JJ. You want to turn your lights onto the body? You want to get off those medications and have the research and support you need to restore that body's well-being? Go to patriotsmade.com/JJ. You want to tap into the best beef, no hormones, no antibiotics, no junk in the trunk from Bill Gates? Well, let me tell you, patriotsmade.com/JJ. I am making a difference, and you can make a difference too. And we already know that we're preaching to the choir, because you are the game changers. Take your power back fully. You are not a victim. You're a victor. patriotsmade.com/JJ. We love you guys, and we're here to support every step of the way.
Kim Yater, thank you. I hate to even say this. What are we going to talk about next week? I mean, who's going to be, this is sad that I have to say this out loud. Who's going to be assassinated? What other congressional hearings are we going to be just blatantly lied to? Politicians
Let me leave a picture with you, JJ. Next week, I'm going to be on the show, and I am going to be holding, right before I get on that show, my newborn grandbaby Oliver. And let me tell you, I will be reminded of the fullness of love, the fullness of life, and why we're here right now. That's what we're going to touch on next week. We have hope, JJ.
We have hope. Kim Yater, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Love you. God bless.
I love you. Bye-bye. Kim Yater at takeyourpowerbackshow.com, takeyourpowerbackshow.com. She is always positive. Even in the face of extreme negative forces, she is positive. Wonderful lady. Wonderful lady. I have a clip. I don't have one today, but I'm going to post a video tomorrow on the vault, in the vault. It's a subscription based on Worldview Tube. So you just go to worldviewtube.com/JJ, worldviewtube.com/JJ, and go into the vault. And this interview contradicts everything Kash Patel just sworn under oath testimony in front of the Senate. Her name is Hope Beryl Green. She was trafficked to Epstein. I interviewed her for an hour and a half, and the things that she told me, being sold directly to Epstein, being sold to Epstein so Epstein allowed her to be used by the Clintons, the Obamas, and the Bidens, and hundreds, if not thousands, of more people over almost 2-3 decades. No, Epstein didn't traffic anybody. I'm supposed to have faith in the FBI. I have none. I'm supposed to have faith in the DOJ, where 2 days ago, Pam Bonnie's talking about aggressively going after hate speech. I'm supposed to believe that the Trump administration is on the up and up when his chief of staff was the chief of staff for Netanyahu, when Donald Trump allows evil people to sit at the dinner table with him. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't buy it. Call me what you want, but ignorant, stupid, gullible, go along to get along, that's not me. If it doesn't feel right to me, I know it isn't. Just the way I am. Go to the vault, watch that interview with Miss Green, and then tell me there's no victims in Epstein's trafficking. See, Gazelle Maxwell, she trafficked those people just to Epstein. Those thousands. As Miss Green told me, I said, how many trafficked people, girls, young teenagers and adults were trafficked by Epstein? Thousands. How many individuals partook in the sexualization and torture of children, young adults, young teenagers, and young adults? Hundreds of thousands. And we can't find one to lay that on Jeffrey Epstein. Don't buy it, and neither should you. This is something that I am passionate about to talk about now. And that is the inability of the middle class to get out of the middle class. And they are hanging on by their fingernails, about to fall out of the middle class into the lower class. I am 100% a capitalist. I believe that you should maintain, own your money, your intellectual property, your physical property. Your physical labor is yours and you should be compensated, and then the government should not take 50% of it. But the American dream has died. Will it be will it resurrect itself? Will we pull it back out from the grave? I don't know. I really don't know. What I do know is statistically, the middle class is dead. And the upper class is getting more and more and more wealthy beyond anything we can even fathom. Now, if all boats were rising and Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and all these people were making billions and billions and billions, we're going to have our first trillionaire. But all of a sudden, Americans had money in their pocket. We were all thriving like in the 80s. Where the water lifted all the boats. Everybody was doing well. That's not what we see today. Not everybody's doing well. Hell, like Kim said, 67% are living paycheck to paycheck in America. Kids coming out of college have a mortgage of debt just in student loans. They don't have a house. They got a ridiculously stupid degree in whatever stupidity, and they paid $150,000 for it. Some of these kids are going to school with $120,000 in debt, and they got a job paying $40,000 a year teaching kindergarten. Math that out for me. During COVID, every single person in the upper class became uber wealthy. Not a little bit, didn't get a little, like they provided more things and they got more profit. I'm all for that. No. See, they cut out everyone else. They shut down all the mom and pop stores. They shut down all commerce except for the big box stores, which became uber wealthy beyond anything we can even imagine. Jeff Bezos, I don't have a problem with Jeff Bezos, created Amazon, incredible. But he became so wealthy because he shut all the competition down. What I make in a year, Jeff Bezos makes in the first hour in interest of the day. There's 24 hours in the day. The first hour of the day, he makes more in interest than I do in a year. And I probably think it's double or triple that. I don't believe in fair and unfair. There's no such thing. But the playing field for us is vertical with all kinds of obstacles. The playing field for the elites are tilted. They're running downhill. They've got a slippery side. They got water. They have bumpers on the sides so they don't fall off. They got great little protective mats. And they're zooming down to financial success. Zooming, no obstacles, absolute straight ahead to absolute wealth to trillionaires. And then we are tilted backwards and we're fighting, we're clinging just to move an inch without falling 5, 10, 15 feet back every single month. This is not America. This is not America. Our founding fathers would have already started stacking bodies in the street if they were taxed at the way we're taxed, if we were abused the way that we're abused. If our founding fathers had a foreign country lobbying day and night on the politicians in the colonies, we would be at war, and all those politicians would be expelled. You want to know how money laundering works? Let me give you just a quick look into AIPAC. AIPAC has handlers in 98% of the Senate and the House, both sides. We give almost $4 billion, that's a B, to them every single year. No questions asked. That money goes to Israel, gets laundered, and comes back. A lot of the money doesn't even leave America, goes into the major military industrial complex, and the money flows through there, and it goes to AIPAC, and AIPAC funds the politicians. Do you see how it works yet? Have you woken up to the absolute theft? And that's just one country. We're not talking about all the other ones. I'm just talking about Israel. But we could throw Mexico in there. We can throw all the Middle East in there. We can throw them all in there because we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe $1 trillion+ a year on foreign aid. Don't listen to the politicians and tell you, we're not doing. No. It's a lot of domestic spending. No, it's not. You are using international money transfers through foreign nations, through NGOs, and back to your families and to the coffers of your political funds in order to maintain your power in the House and Senate. That's it. Who's paying all that billions of dollars? Of course, we are. We're spending $4 billion a year on a population of 9 million people. And you're not allowed to ask a question about that because that would be anti-Semitic. If the same money was going to Nigeria, I would be saying the same damn thing. Hold on a second. Well, no, you hate Nigerians. No, I hate my money going out of the United States to anyone. But when it goes year over year over year, we are now believing that we have given minimum $250 billion to Israel in the form of weapons, money. They're not a South America third world hellhole. They're a first world country. What in God's name are we sending billions of dollars to a first world country? Anyone care to answer that? Go ahead. I want you to listen to Tucker Carlson on Ackman, the billionaire. Just listen to this. This is great. I believe it's sped up. But just listen
Bill
to
Ackman
it.
is not creative, not particularly intelligent. Bill Ackman is worth $7 billion. So you have to ask, like, how? And it seems to me that Bill Ackman is rich for the same reasons that a lot of other people I know are rich, because he's hyper aggressive and he's well connected. And my only point was, if you live in a society that awards the spoils to people on the basis of those two qualities, like the most aggressive, the best connected people get the richest, that's a dysfunctional society. There should be a reward for creativity and decency and hard work, steadfastness, following the rules. Like, you should have to add to the sum total of your society, you'd think. It's not an argument against the free market. It's an argument against whatever we're living through right now. This is really dark and ugly. And if people like Bill Ackman are getting the richest, what has Bill Ackman done? Shorted the market or something? Talked down Herbalife? I mean, I'm not even saying that should be illegal. All I'm saying is, if that's one of the richest guys in your society, you've got a very sick society. I don't think Bill Ackman's like a drooling idiot or anything, but like, when was the last time you heard Bill Ackman say something constructive or creative? Like, never. So it's just bad. And it's not just about Bill Ackman, of course. I mean, he's just a minor player in the life of the world, but he's a kind of metaphor for how off track we've gone. And that doesn't seem like a socialist point. Once again, I'm hardly a socialist, and neither was Charlie Kirk. That seems like a Christian point. Fairness is at the root.
Fairness is at the root. And what Tucker Carlson stated in that sped up clip is nothing is fair. Nothing is legitimate. Everything is a fallacy. We are living in a matrix. I believe that. I believe we're in a matrix. You can't explain how some of these men got their wealth. You just can't. And then once they get the wealth, then they manipulate the politicians and the system to become more wealthy. While I'm going to speak directly about me. My whole life, I'm in my 50s. My whole life was get out there and work. Just work hard, work overtime, get a second job, hustle, hustle, hustle. And everything's going to be fine. You will have more than enough money. And that's a lie. It's a lie. The tax code is tens of thousands of pages long. Let me repeat that. The U.S. tax code is tens of thousands of pages long. Has anyone read the tax code? Of course you haven't. Do you think any IRS agent has read tens of thousands of pages? The answer is no. The answer is no. It's no, no, no. I'm going to finish this episode. I'm going to show you a clip. It runs 2 minutes long. Thomas, I would like you to play this in my show on this, because I saw this and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to play this because we have righteous anger, righteous complaints. But at the same time, like Kim said, she's going to hold her grandbaby Oliver, and understand that she's blessed. I want you to watch this 2-minute clip about thanking God for your blessings. thanking God for your obstacles, thanking God for your hurdles. Play this to the end, if you will, Thomas, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.
I have a very hard life. I don't think there's much to be grateful for, and sometimes I wish I didn't even have this life, is what I think I would say if I wasn't in this wheelchair. And I know that can come across as a bit of a shock for a lot of people, because on the surface it seems like my life is unbearably hard and difficult. But I have a pretty good life. I'm a happy camper. I don't have many complaints. And I think I'm able to live that way because of the circumstances that I was given and the privilege of this life that I'm able to live. Yes, it is a privilege because I get to be grateful for the things that most people take for granted. And I get to be so humble that I experience God and I get to meet God in ways that most people haven't. And so life is good. There's not much to complain about. I think people always assume that my life is a terrible thing and it is a burden, and while it can be sometimes, and I don't always have the best day ever, it's a blessing. And it's a privilege to have this life. Because God ultimately said, you know what? I'll give this one to Jamie. Because I know that he's the right person for it. And I think God gave you your life because he knew you were the right person for it. I love you. God bless.
Welcome to Technocracy News with your host, Patrick Wood. I'm your co-host, Logan House. Today we have, will the next first turning be technocracy? Business Insider has a piece out. Fact check your AI stories or else. And we have a flashback from 2007 that Patrick wrote, Global Banks Adopting Islam. And then lastly, related to that, Own Nothing, the Great Islamic Finance Convergence. Patrick, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm relaxing, by the way, in Northern California on a cattle ranch. It's a wonderful experience, but there's no traffic. You can't hear anything in the country, and the cows are mooing, and the birds are chirping, and everything is happy.
Well, that sounds nice. I'm jealous.
It really is. So this is a switch for me for sure.
Yeah. I bet is it? I guess it's probably pretty hot there too. Just about as hot as it.
It's not too bad. I think it's about 95 degrees today. You know, that's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty normal for you, huh? Being in Arizona.
Yeah.
Well, this first story is, will the next first turning be to technocracy? And this is by Stephen Yates.
It is. Stephen Yates is an old friend of mine, believe it or not. I mean, talking probably 20 years ago. He's a PhD philosopher, and he moved from the United States to Chile, I believe it was, and he found a bride down there, and he's been basically, I think it's South America ever since. But he wrote this great story, and this is the story. This is the second story that I've posted on this topic. What comes next? What are we staring into the face of at this point? The question is, there's a consensus that the Great Reset is basically killing old style globalization, and out with the old and new in with the new. The question is at this point, what is the new going to look like? Right?
Yeah.
So people have been talking about these four turnings of society. I won't go through them all, but there's a first turning through four. We're in the fourth stage right now, where there's basically going to be mass destruction. Somehow maybe it's going to be a collapse of unemployment. Maybe it's going to be a war. Who knows? But it's going to be messy. So people are talking about we're in this stage now called the fourth turning. But that's really not what we need to be looking at this point. What Steve is saying in this article is that we should be focused on the next turning. That's the phase that we're moving into now. And almost certainly it's going to be technocracy. I've been saying this for many years. This just is kind of recasting the concept. This is what we're looking at. And this is the concern that people have. I think, well, certainly we do. This is basically the beast system that's being created right before our eyes with AI, with all the micromanagement, surveillance, et cetera, like that, stuff like that. So this article really did a great job just explaining what is the first turning and why it's going to be technocracy.
Yep, and you can read it over at technocracy.news. Technocracy.news. Do you want to jump over to the Business Insider?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Fact check your AI stories or else. Journalists at Business Insider are officially green-lighted to use AI to write stories, but they will own whatever they publish under their own name. So they're going to start using AI to basically do all the work for them, and they're just going to have to go over and check. If not, if the AI gets it wrong, then they're going to be the ones getting in trouble.
You would think that would be the case. Business Insider, it's a huge publication at this point. They're the first major publication that's published formal rules for the use of AI. And I can understand that the journalists at BI would be concerned. They knew this was happening. They knew it was coming. And I'm sure they were all antsy because most of them probably have already dabbled with AI, if not outright using it to write articles. But at this point, the guidelines for them, this is what I take away from it in any case. If you're going to use AI, that's just a tool. If you're going to use it, however, you better double check your references, double check all your facts, and if you inadvertently put something under your name and we publish it, you're going to be in big trouble. For instance, if you get something wrong, if the AI hallucinates and just make stuff up, this has happened many times, you're going to pay for it. And I kind of like that idea, but we'll see. At this point, at least the journalists have guidelines in place on how to use AI effectively. For research, perhaps, maybe writing their first draft of a story, something like that. But they better be very careful when they publish something under their name. And basically what they're saying is, you own it. Yeah. They want you to own the thing. They want your head into the article, not just taking what AI said.
And also is making sure that their employees are actually working and not just getting AI to do all their work and they're publishing without checking anything.
I know. I've heard stories, by the way, of people who were actually working 2 or 3 jobs.
Yeah.
Where they're using AI to speed up their work so they can actually juggle 3 jobs at the same time.
And these would probably be remote jobs, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not telling their employers that they have other jobs. And so, they're switching during the daytime, 2 hours here, 2 hours here, 2 hours there, and they're making up a whole day. And they're billing. However, they're employed by all these people. Yeah. That's kind of funny in a way because, if they get caught, they're going to be in big trouble. But this is the AI age, so we have to deal with it.
Yeah. I guess if you can if you can pull it off, then good on you, right?
Well, I guess, but it's disingenuous to me. It's not theft. Theft isn't the word, but obviously it's gaming the system in a way that's immoral. Because if you're charging somebody for 8 hours of work, but you're only doing that work in 2 hours, somebody's getting cheated.
Yeah.
Most employers want your head in the game. They pay for your brain to do stuff. And if you don't give them 8 hours, then they should be upset, I think. I would be upset if I knew an employee did that for me.
For sure. For sure. Well, here we go to the big topic for today. Flashback 2007, you wrote an article, Global Banks Adopting Islam. And this was this is almost 20 years ago.
It was 18 years ago. I can't believe that this article came out of my head. And there was no AI back then, for sure. But I wrote this article. I don't even remember what spurred me to write it in the first place. Maybe I was talking to somebody like an Islamic scholar or something that triggered me. But I did a lot of research to put this article together in the first place. I had to study how the banking system was wanting to interface with Islamic world. And then I had to figure out what makes Islamic finance tick in the first place, so-called Sharia law. And so that was unfamiliar to me at that point. And that was after 9/11, by the way. And you might remember that most of those hijackers of those planes, et cetera, were all from Saudi Arabia. This kind of ties into our story here because Saudi is big time in Sharia finance. So the question is, that people are asking, what really is Sharia law or Sharia finance in the first place? Well, it's different. First off, it's different than our system of banking. Our system of banking is based on debt-based money, where debt and money,